Okay, so welcome back students. So today we will be learning regarding analysis of rates. So analysis of rates usually it involves your material cost, right, as well as your delivery cost and labor cost. All those costs are taken into account, and you need to find the unit rate of a construction work. So whenever you want to quote a value of a tender, you need to know the analysis of rates, right? You need to know the rate of various works whenever you want to quote for any tender. So quotation you have to take, right, quotations from various vendors, from various manufacturers of the material, right? You need to go around, you need to check what is the rate, prevailing rate in your area, right? You need to do that. Then you need to analyze the rates of the material cost as well as the delivery. Some material need to be delivered to your place, right? That delivery charge, handling charges, loading, unloading charges also have to be taken into account. So quotations you have to take from various vendors, and you have to prepare this analysis of rates, and you have to quote a tender, right? The basis of arrival at a correct reasonable rate per unit item of work following its specification is called analysis of rates. Okay, it is rate per unit item of work. Suppose you are doing for earthwork, what is the rate of earthwork per unit meter, then per unit, okay, per unit, or whatever. Whenever you're dealing with concrete work, what is the unit rate of that concrete work, you need to know. So some experienced engineers will tell them with their experience, but usually what you have to do, you have to do calculations and arrive at that particular rate, right? So whenever you are in the field, they might be talking about what is the unit rate of excavation, tell then what is the unit rate of PCC, what is the unit rate of your tile work, right? So where they arrive that from, either from experience, but usually you have to arrive that at that value from your analysis of rates. So that analysis of rates include various items, right? I have told you. So let us look into detail regarding this analysis of rates. Okay. For rate analysis, the following subhead costs are taken into account. Okay, so we know that for the total cost of any item of work, it includes the cost of material, right? Cost of material, then cost of labor. These two are important, we know, but also it includes equipment if needed. Okay, equipments. Then some tools are required, right? For any kind of work, we require some tools. So equipment, tools, and plant. Right? Whenever you have large scale work, usually what they do nowadays is they establish your plant at the site itself, RMC plant, right? Whenever you have a big project that has to be executed. So a cost of equipment, tools, and plant. Then cost of water, right? Water we usually neglect, but we need to take care of this water charges. Okay, water is also not free. There has to be some cost that is to be included regarding this water. Then overhead, cost of overhead and profit. Okay, we'll study about this overhead later. So okay, there has to be some profit which has to be included, right? You want some profit while you're doing work. You need to earn, right? So because of profit, you are doing this work. So you need to consider some amount of profit for yourself, right? For the contractor or the builder. So you have to include your profit. So it is around 10% of the cost of material and labor. 10% of the cost of material and labor. Okay, so all these things are taken into account when you want to do rate analysis. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. So you have to add all these. Okay, you can see you have added all of these cost. Add all these cost. At total cost, we will get divided by the total quantity. Right. So this is how you arrive at the rate per unit item of work. Okay, total cost by total quantity. Say total cost, some amount you have got in rupees, and in quantity you have got in meter cube. So it will be what? Cost per unit item of work. It will come in per meter cube. What is the rate per meter cube? What is the rate? So let me show you what do you mean by per meter cube. Per meter cube is what? It is volume, right? It is volume. Meter cube. It is a volume in 3D, right? 3D. So you can see this is just an overview of a cubic meter. Okay, this box you can see comparison to a human being. This is what is 1 cubic meter. Okay, 1 cubic meter. So keep this figure in mind. 1 cubic meter is how much it is, almost to your waist, right? 1 cubic meter is a volumetric representation of 1 cubic meter. Okay, coming back to analysis of rates, right? Cost of materials, coming under cost of material, whatever quantity you have calculated, right? Quantity of material into rate of material, right? We have done this normally in our module 2, module 1, right? Quantity of material, whatever we have calculated in meter cube or meter square, we multiply that by the rate. You will get the cost of material. So cost of material, cost of labor, cost of equipment, tools and plants, cost of water charges, and profit and overhead. We need to include all of this to get the total cost. Then once you get the total cost, divide by the total quantity, okay, total quantity, you will get the rate per item of work. So is this general thing clear regarding rate analysis? Yes or no? Is this clear? Rate analysis. This is just the basic thing we will learn in detail. I hope it is clear. Is it clear, guys? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what we do under quantity for rate analysis. Quantity for rate analysis. Okay. Generally, quantity taken for the rate analysis are as follows. Quantity that we have to take for rate analysis, right? We have for mass work, for volumetric work, wherein it is 3D, right? A meter cube we have to take mass work. So you have to usually assume a 10 cubic meter, okay? 10 cubic meter of cement concrete work or stone work, brick masonry work, whatever we do in cubic meter, right? Work, whatever we take under cubic meter or measure in cubic meters, that is called mass work. And whenever we want to calculate the rate analysis, okay, whenever we want to do the rate analysis, we have to assume that 10 cubic meter work is to be done. 10 cubic meter work is to be done. Okay, we will assume, and then later on, if we divide the answer by 10, we will get in per meter cube, right? We will get for 1 meter cube. So what we want, we want the rate per meter cube, right? We want the rate analysis to be done for per meter cube or per meter square or per running meter, right? Per meter we want for 1 meter cube or 1 meter square or per running meter. So what we do initially, we assume that we are doing 10 cubic meter work, right? We assume 10 cubic meter work, then we divide that by 10 so that we get in 1 meter cube. Okay, so this assumption is very important. You need to write down that we are assuming 10 cubic meter or 100 square meters or 100 running meters, whatever you assume, you can write. For usually this is the convention that we will be using 10 cubic meter, or when we are dealing with surface work, we will be using 100 square meter, and whenever we are dealing with running meters, we will be assuming 100 running meters. Okay, running meters in the sense for pipeline works, right? Whenever you want to calculate the quantity of pipes, right, it will be calculated in running meters. Okay, then for unit quantity of work, like whenever you want to do some fixtures like plumbing work, wash basin, then water closet, urinals, etc., whenever you are dealing with numbers, we will assume only one number. Okay, and directly we will arrive at a per meter quantity, per meter rate. Okay, so these are some assumptions that we will be requiring. This will be clear once we do some rate analysis for items, various items of works. Okay, so these are some assumptions that are required. Next, moving on, procedure to be followed for rate analysis procedure. Okay, the first thing that you have to do, that we usually do is taking out the quantity, right? Meter cube quantity or meter square, whatever work you are doing or you are dealing with, you have to first calculate the quantity of material. That is first thing. Okay, calculate the quantities, then you allocate the number of labors, right? We have various kinds of labors available, and for each for particular work we need particular type of labor, so we need to properly allocate labor. If we call all the labors only if excavation is going on in your site, and you call mason, you call head mistri, and you call mazdoor, all those people if you call, then only mazdoors are required, all the others will be having no work, so it will be loss for the contractor. So you have to allocate proper labor depending upon what type of work is going on in your field at that particular day. So allocation of labor, then number of labors is also very important. Depending upon the magnitude of your work, the number of labors that are required, you have to decide properly. So we will learn that also, how to decide the number of labors, how to, and which content, which type of labor we need to do, we need to use for which for particular kind of work. All those things we will learn today. Then work out the cost of tools and plants and other miscellaneous items. Okay, after you calculate the quantities, after you allocate the number of labors, then what you have to do for cost of tools, right? We need some tools for the laborers to work with. We need some plants if required, and other machines, all those things, and other miscellaneous items. You have to work out the cost of that thing. Then after you're done with that, then we need to add some water charges, right? Water charges. Okay, add 0.5% of water charges and 10% of profit. Okay, you need to do this, very important. After you do that, you can calculate the rate per unit. Rate per unit, how you can calculate the total cost. Total cost by the total quantity. We know this formula. Total cost by total quantity gives us rate per unit item of work. Okay, so this is just the procedure of how you need to carry out the rate analysis. Okay, remember, first you will calculate the meter cube quantity. So this will be done usually when, so you have learned how to calculate this part. The first part in where in your first and second module, right? We have calculated all the quantities of various materials. So this will be done. So this will be done first, then allocate the labors, then take out the cost that is required for tools, plants, and other miscellaneous items, then add some water charges of 1.5% and 10% profit for yourself, and then work out a total. You need to calculate the cost and then divide that by the total quantity. Okay, so this is the procedure that you have to follow. So we will be following the same procedure while we will be doing the analysis of rates. So various factors, this is very important. Various factors affecting the rate analysis, various factors and rate analysis affecting the rate analysis. So we can classify them as major factors and minor factors. So can you list various factors now? Can you list various factors that will affect the rate analysis? You can just go through this, right? So whatever is included over here will affect the, whatever is included here will affect what? Your rate analysis. So can you tell me what is the first thing that will affect the rate analysis? A very important thing, which makes up 30 to 40% of your rate. Almost 50 or more it can go. The first point which you see on your screen.
Cost of materials.
Right. Cost of material is the first important thing that will, that is the factor which affects your rate analysis. Depending upon the cost of your material, what is the quality of your material, right? All those things are included in the cost of material. Right. As I've told you, we need some transportation charges which are included. That also affects. Right. Cost of material is the first important thing. Cost of material. As I've told you, it will constitute to about 50 to 60% of the total project work. Okay, so the price of material varies from place to place, right? From time to time, it also varies. So you have to consider the prevailing rates at that particular area. Whatever is the rate running at that area, you have to consider. Then we have to take some allowances, right? We have to take some allowances for breakage, then wastage if occurs, right? We have to take some allowances and we have to order some extra quantity of material. Then this is regarding the cost of material. So some materials require to be transported, right, to be lifted, and then they need to be hauled. So all those costs are also to be included in this particular first point, right? Cost of material. Okay. Next. Just give me a minute. Okay. So this is the first important, very important thing, right? 50 to 60% is constituted by this particular factor, that is cost of material. Coming to second one, that is cost of labor, right? Very important, cost of labor. So we have different kind of labor, different types of labors that are required, right? Can you name a few types of labors? You know, can you name? Do you know a few types of labors? Gotre, if you know, please, can you try to name a few? Those who are those who have done internship in the field. different types of labors. I will differentiate them into two types. Let me show you. I think it is there. Depending upon their skill. Depending upon their skill. Skilled and unskilled labor are the two categories. Okay, two categories. And then we have different kinds of labor, such as you have mason who works on bricks, right? Mason. Then you have bishti. You have mazdoor at beldars. All the different kind of material. You have laborers. You have carpenters. You have plumbers. Right? So all those are laborers that you require for your construction work. So cost of labor it also varies from place to place. Okay, cost of labor also varies from place to place. It differs from time also. It differs with time. Then cost of labor. Then it depends. It varies like what is the weather condition, what is the domestic life, what is the working condition. Depending upon that, your cost will also vary. Then. Therefore, it is necessary to study what the nature of work and wages paid while starting the process of analysis of rate. Okay, so I have to go through the particular state's rate and schedule of rates, and you have to see what is the prevailing rates in that particular area. Okay, so we have a schedule of rates for every state has its own PWD, WRD rates. Okay, schedule of rates, every state has its own. So you can go through that. I'll show you what are the WRD rate, PWD rates of Karnataka. Okay, I will show you that. Then so cost of labor is very important and that has to be included properly in your rate analysis. Okay, depending on the number of laborers required, type of laborer, your cost of labor varies. Okay, so what else do you think is the another or the other factors which are major factors which are there in your rate analysis? So major two we have covered. Two we have covered, that is cost of materials, cost of labor. Then any other major cost that you can think of? Right, so they are the two major things. Then the remaining things are minor factors. Okay, so major things are what? Cost of material and cost of labor. Coming to minor factors, right? We have studied so cost of tools and plants, right? If you need some tools for your masons or your workers, right? So tools you need to buy. So those tools cost you something. So cost of tools have to be included. Then cost of plant. Okay, setting up a plant. Right, example, an RMC plant at a site wherever you're building a large building or wherever you are dealing with large major construction work. What we will do nowadays, we will set up an RMC plant at the site itself. Right, so cost of plant, cost of tools, all those things have to be included. So they come under minor factors. So cost of magnitude of work. This is also very important. Magnitude of work. Cost depends upon the magnitude of work. Okay, minor factor is the cost depends on your magnitude of work. Suppose you have a smaller, if you have a smaller one room to build and you have a 3 BHK to build, which will cost more? One room building will cost more per unit rate or cost of cement. Okay, we will deal with cement quantity. Okay, cement quantity, say for one room you are requiring 30 bags of cement, 30 bags of cement for one room, and for a big residential house you require 300 bags. So which will cost more? Which depending upon your magnitude of work. So this is a lesser in magnitude, this is larger in magnitude, right? More material is required here and less material is required in the first case. So whenever you go to buy cement now, it will be costlier in this case, or cement will be costlier in this case. Per unit bag, I'm asking, per bag rate, I'm asking whether your cost will be higher here or in the second case, per bag rate.
First case.
First case, correct, very good. So first case, your bag rate will be higher. Why will they charge you higher, or why will they charge you MRP rate? MRP.
So if you order more quantity, they will reduce the price.
Yes, correct. So whenever you order in bulk, whenever you order in more quantity, they will give you some percentage of discount, right? Some percentage discount they will give you over the MRP. So that will affect your rate analysis. So if your magnitude of work is more, your cost will be reduced because they will give you some discount because you are buying in bulk. Okay, and if you are buying very less quantity, they will charge you the MRP rate, right? And hence there will be no much reduction in cost. So this is very important point. Okay, depending upon the magnitude of your work. Next thing. Okay, cost due to place of work. How can you justify this particular point, cost due to place of work? What will vary depending upon the place of work?
Transportation.
Correct, transportation. Okay, I'll give you a scenario. Suppose you are building in an urban area, and you are building a same house in a very remote area, or in a village area. So where will the cost be more, in the urban area or in the remote area? Building the same type of house using the same materials. Whether the cost will be more in urban area, construction in urban area, or in a remote village area.
Remote area.
Remote area, correct. Now, can you name a few factors why the cost has increased? Why will your cost increase? One factor you have told, very important, transportation. That you have to transport more to their remote location. Hence, transportation cost has increased. Any other factor? Right, your laborers also have to travel, right? Laborers will also have to travel, hence their cost will also increase, right? Labor has to be have to travel to that place. That hence that cost will also be included. Then transportation charges of various materials, also different kind of things that are required. Everything has to be transported. Hence your cost will increase. Now, what happens when you are building in urban area? One important thing, whenever you are building in urban area, you do not have any place to dump your material, right? You cannot dump your material besides your particular construction site or on the road, wherever, because there are buildings on either side of on all the sides there are buildings of your house. So you cannot dump your material. So what you have to do, you have to dump your material to a nearby site. Wherever you find a vacant land or wherever possible, what you do, you dump your material there, and then from there you have to haul your material, you have to take your material from that particular place and then bring to your construction site. So what will happen when there is a congested area or whenever you are building in urban areas, this extra transportation cost will add up in your rate analysis, right? So whenever you are building in congested areas, your cost will be a bit higher compared to when you are building in an open area, right? So this is also one important factor. Next, due to site condition, cost due to site condition, right? If you are if there is any restrictions on entry and exit of materials, your cost per unit item will be higher. Okay, if there are any restrictions. Additions, in addition, if there are any restriction to working hours, right? If your working hours are limited, then your cost will also increase. If your working hours are lesser than the usual working hours, right, then your cost will also increase. The labor output will be reduced because less they will work less, hence the labor output per day will be less, right? Labor will work for lesser amount of hours per day, hence your time will increase for your construction, and hence it will be increase in your rate analysis. Your cost of your project will increase. Okay, so depending upon the site conditions, your rate of analysis of rate varies. Okay, coming to next, cost due to specification. Okay, say your owner or your whoever has given you a tender says that a particular type of material has to be used. Okay, a superior quality of material has to be used. Say they tell you to use good cement and good steel. So which is the best steel and best cement available in the market? Can you name a few brands? Best steel which they consider, steel or rebar or cement, best brand or best cement brand, best cement steel.
JSW and Tata, sir, for steel.
JSW for which?
Steel and Tata.
JSW and Tata, right? JSW and steel are considered to be leading in your steel industry, right? They are they give you very good quality or high quality of steel. Next, regarding cement,
Ultratech.
Ultratech, correct. So Ultratech is one of the best cement that you can get in your market. So if they tell you to specifically use Ultratech and Tata Steel, say, then your cost will increase because that particular material are a bit costly compared to other, right? But what your owner or what your builder who have given you tender, what they have told you to build using superior quality of materials. So depending upon the specification also, your cost varies. Okay, your cost will vary. Then overhead charges. In overhead charges, we include some office expenses, right? Whenever you are building at a site, whenever you are there at a large site, you need supervisors, right? You need engineers to supervise. So their particular salaries are included. Then so engineer needs a small office at the site, right? So he cannot stand in the sun every day for the full day. So he needs a small office. That office has to be built, one room office. Then that office needs some, if you rent some room nearby, so rent has to be paid. Then you need some stationery, right? You need some paper, you need pens, you need printer, all those things are required. Then you need to pay the light bill, you have to pay all those things. Then some telephone bill, right? Then if water is also required at that particular room, then you require telephone. If you also in some places they require a computer, right? So all these things, then where will your engineer sit? He cannot sit on the floor. They require furniture for him to sit, right? So you require furniture, and transportation, you allowances you give for your engineer. So all of these include costs are included in your overhead charges. Okay, overhead charges. Okay, so these are to be included in overhead charges. So all of these are named over here. You can read. Next, contractors profit, very important. So why are we doing all this? Because we want profit. We are doing no before we are doing all this hard work because we need profit. So we need to consider some amount of percentage for our profit. So we usually use a profit of 10%. Contractor usually adds a profit of 10% to your total cost, right? Total cost, correct? Total cost, whatever you have, 10% is the profit. So it varies, right? It varies. It is not usually 10%. It varies, right? Depending upon the whatever what you are constructing, what is the magnitude of your construction, right? How are the relationship with your with your owner or who has given you the work? Depending upon that, your percentage can vary. There is no standard for that. It is decided. It will be decided by you, by the contractor. So if you want, if he is a very good friend, you can do it at half. That you can do it at 5%. If you do not want, if you are doing it for your relatives, they usually ask it to do it for free, no? So such kind of things are there. So depending upon various situations, you can decide the percentage of profit. Okay, so I hope all the factors are clear. Factors affecting the rate analysis. I hope it is clear. Yes or no? Can you please reply? Factors affecting rate
Yes, sir.
analysis. Clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on. Essentials of rate analysis. We will look into a few essentials that are required for rate analysis, right? We need to know the cost of materials. We need to know the cost of labor. All those things we need to know. Okay. While working out rate of item in a bill quantity, following actions are most essential. Okay, let us look into what are these actions which are essential to examine plan, specification, bill of quantities thoroughly. Right, we need to examine. That is our work. We need to examine various plans, specifications, bills. All those you have to thoroughly check. Then we have to inspect at the site. Right, we have to go. We have to inspect to get local information regarding nearest railway station. All these things. What is the nature of soil strata? And available facilities, available of local materials, which material is available very easily, what is the material that is used usually for construction, all those things you have to go and check. Then to study the conditions regarding labor and its availability, very important. We need to check, we need to go and we need to check what is the kind of labor that is available, and what are the type of labor, whether they are skilled, unskilled labor, what are their working patterns, what are their working hours, all those things, what are the various machinery available to you, what are the various machinery, all those things you have to collect the information regarding. Then very important, the last point, correct information about rate of materials. Okay, rate of materials, rate of wages of laborers, etc. So you can pay your labor in terms of daily wages, right? Daily wages you can pay, or you can pay them in lump sum, right? Lump sum, or you can pay them based on quantity, meter cube per meter cube or per meter square unit rate, unit quantity. You can pay them based on unit quantity. You can pay them in lump sum, or you can pay them in daily wages. Depends upon the nature of your work, materials that are used, right? Depends upon the particular tender. So market rate for materials and labors. So this particular table, okay, the material rates which are given over here, table material components, right, unit and their rate are given. So these rates, market rates are prevailing in Bangalore city, okay, Bangalore city 2013 to 14. So these are a bit old rates which we will be using. So we can adopt latest rates if you know in the particular rate analysis. So these are a bit old rates. So I think they will be they have increased in 2021. Then the rate mentioned below are approximate. Okay, the rate are approximate, may vary from place to place, very important, and time to time. So these rates are not fixed, right? They will increase with time and they will vary according to your place, right? So that has to be considered. These are not standard. These are just for your reference. Okay. So cement, what is the prevailing cement rate in currently in our city? Is it the same thing or is it higher? For one bag, unit is one bag. So cement is usually calculated in bags. What is the rate currently in our city? Can you tell me? Can anyone tell me cement rate? Cement rate ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ?
420 sir.
420 ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. 420 is the current. Which company pa ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಗ್? ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದು 420? Generally you have said, okay. So let us take it is 400 to 420, right? So how many kilos in one bag? How many kilos of cement will be there in one bag? You order cement in bags, right? How many bags you require? You require 10 bags, you require 25 bags. So what will be, how much kgs of cement will be there in one bag of cement? How many kgs?
50 kgs.
50 Allah, 50, very basic thing, right? Very basic thing. You have to remember, you have to know this thing. So you will have 50 kgs of cement in one bag. Okay, and one bag will cost you around 400 rupees, 400 rupees. Okay, so this is very important regarding cement. Next, various other materials are there and their rates are given. You can read white cement, then you have stone aggregate, which we call as coarse aggregate. Okay, coarse aggregate of various sizes in cubic meter we calculate, right? And their prevailing rates. Then various other materials also we have. You can see we have sand gravel, that is fine aggregate. Then we have bricks, right? We have bricks. Bricks ಏನಿದೆ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, what is the rate per brick? Per brick, what is the rate now going on?
5 rupees, sir.
5 rupees. Okay, you can see bricks, burnt bricks, burnt bricks. You can see that the current rate is going on as 5 rupees. So you usually order bricks in numbers, 25,000, 20,000, 15,000 bricks you order. Okay, then various kinds of bricks are available. You can see table molded bricks, wire cut bricks, all those things. Flooring material, regarding flooring, you can see we have various tiles available with us. We have marble, right? Marble slabs, marble tiles are also available, vitrified tiles, mosaic tiles. We have seen all these kinds of tiles, right? In the specifications, we have learned regarding this.
Sir, these bricks are measured as in a brass, sir.
Bricks are measured in
Brass.
brass.
Sir, what do you mean by that brass, sir?
Not brass, Baba. Bricks are measured in terms of number. Where is brass mentioned? Is it mentioned here anywhere? No.
No, sir, I am casually asking you, sir. Brass.
No. Brass, no, it is burnt brick which are using, and they are usually measured in numbers. Okay, numbers. You measure in numbers, 15,000, 20,000 you order, right? And per brick cost, you know, it is 5 rupees. Prevailing rate is 5 rupees. Hence, multiply that by the number of bricks that you will be ordering, and you will get the rate of your brick. Okay, so
Sir,
yes.
mean of brass, sir.
Brass.
Meaning of brass.
I have not heard anything called brass regarding bricks. Can you, if you have idea, you can share.
Sir, sand and aggregates are measured in brass, sir. 100 cubic feet is known as one brass, sir.
Okay. So you are going with this 100 feet. You are going with MKS units. 100 feet is equal to one brass.
100 cubic feet, sir.
100 cubic feet is one, whatever brass you call brass. So in the site, what happens is we deal with feet and inches, no, feet and inches. But usually when we study, we deal with meter and centimeter. So that is why this problem is happening. So whatever you learn in cubic meters,
100 square feet, sir, one brass.
But sir, usually on site they are using brass, sir.
right? They use in feet, right? They use in feet,
Yes.
right? So the thing is this
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವು
problem happens.
ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಟೇಲರ್ ಅದು ಬ್ರಾಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ ಸರ್ ಅವು.
Correct. So whenever you go to the field, you cannot talk in terms of cubic meters. You cannot talk in terms of square meters. You have to talk in terms of feet, inches, square feet, and cubic feet and brass, right? So that is the problem. So in exam and in theory, what you have to do, you have to learn here in cubic meters. In MKS units, we learn MKS, right? Meter, kilogram, and seconds. But in the field, they use FPS units. Okay, that is the problem that is happening with civil engineers. So you learn in terms of this, but in field they apply using this. So you need to know all these local things that are required, right? Brass and then cubic feet. This is very important. Okay, so you can share if any other thing that you know regarding field, which units they use. So this is important brass, which you told me it is 100 cubic feet is equal to 1 brass. Then any other such kind of field technical terms, if you know, you can share. We will share with everyone. Okay, so you were asking about brass. So your friend has told it is 100 cubic feet is equal to 1 brass. So whenever you order gravel or you order any cubic meter component, right? You order stone aggregate or you order sand or M sand, whatever, you can order in brass. Then in cubic meter and in brass, can you find a relation and tell me in the next class cubic meter and brass? You can tell a factor which can be multiplied to this cubic meter. Tell a factor which can be multiplied to this cubic meter so that we arrive at a unit in this particular term, brass.
Sir, 1 brass is equal to 35 meter cube.
1 brass is equals to how much?
35 meter cube, sir.
35 meter cube.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what I have written in the screen. Is it correct? Correct, no? So 1 cubic meter will be this particular brass by?
No, sir, sorry, sir. 2.3 meter cube, sir.
2.3 meter cube.
Yes, 2.83 meter cube.
2.83
Meter cube equal to 1 brass.
1 brass, correct. So whatever we have written now is correct. Okay, so this is the conversion that you can use in your field. Okay, if you calculate in terms of cubic meters, you can convert it to brass using this particular equation or this particular relation, right? Okay, so can we move on to the next thing now? Let me show you a few SOR I can show you. So is this particular screen visible? Water Resource Department, WRD. Water Resource Department schedule of rates. So you will get all kinds of details in this particular schedule of rates. So this is 2018, 2019. If you find the latest one, you can share with us. Okay, let us just check what all is included in this schedule of rates. You can see. So in schedule of rates, you have basic data which is given. Then for various kind of water resource department work, they have given us specifications as well as rates. All the rates and the specifications for various kind of works will be given. See, dam and allied works, canal works, lift irrigation works. Right? Similarly, you will be having a schedule of rates for PWD works. Similar schedule of rate we will be having for PWD work, and this is for your government of Karnataka. This schedule of rate is given by government of Karnataka. Okay, so you have various states which give you various schedules of rates. So you have to consider that particular state's schedule of rates, whichever state or whichever area you are working in. So let me show you. See, you can see here description of material and their rate. They have given statement of rates of materials. Okay, so you can let us check. So burnt bricks here, you can see here burnt bricks, we have 14th number. They are measured in 1000 numbers. Okay, 1000 numbers, and you can see the rate is 57 5723 rupees, 5723 rate. Okay, this column is unit and this column is rate. So for 1000 big bricks, you will be requiring 5723 rupees. Okay, so in this way, all the particular rates will be given to you. Okay, all the particular rates. You can see coarse aggregate is given, okay, in cubic meters, and the rate for per cubic meter is given. It is a 1615. Okay, so this is just a reference thing that you can use. Okay, this is a reference document which you can use. This is not a standard one, right? So this document gives you a reference. The rate will vary depending upon your place, depending upon the vendor which you are taking it from. Okay, they can be nearby, it will be something plus or minus, right? But this gives you a reference value so that you are not being charged overly. They will give you some discount, right? And if you are buying in bulk, you will get some discount, so your cost will reduce. And depending upon the type type of material where you are buying it from, what is the place, right? This particular rate will vary. It is not that it has to be this particular rate. It can vary, right? So you can see various types of materials and their rates, and their unit are also mentioned. Unit along with their rates are mentioned. So you can go through this particular document to understand what are the various rates and their measurement units. Okay, you can see the statement of wages of workers. So this document also gives you the statement of wages. Okay, what are the wages that you have to provide. So this is basic wage per day. Okay, per day. And we have various zones, right? You can see zone 2. We are currently in zone 2. And similarly, we will have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, right? I think we have 3 to 4 zones, and your rate or your wages will depend on which zone you are currently working in. Okay. So in the first thing, we are dealing with skilled category, then there will be unskilled category also, right? Bar benders, then you have blasters, carpenters, foreman. You can go through, you can see various rates are given per day rate. Per day, you can see bar bender rate is 395 rupees per day, or in zone 3 it will be 375 per day. Okay, so variable, there is some allowance. Okay, 61 rupees, and then the total wage that you have to take is 456 for zone 2 and 436 for zone 3. So depending upon the zone. So I think zone is also mentioned. So Bangalore area and their nearby cities are taken as zone 1. You can see Bangalore city and agglomeration are taken in zone 1. Wages under zone 2 are applicable to all district headquarters and agglomeration. Okay, they come under zone 2, and all the remaining things are coming under zone 3. All the remaining areas will be under zone 3. Okay, so I hope this part is clear. Is this clear? Okay, so you can see specification are also given. Various specifications will also be given. Let us just go through one of your specification. Okay. Okay, these are lead charges. These are excavation charges. Okay, so you can see here, what is this? So this is for excavation and foundation. Okay, excavation and foundation treatment works. So what is this? This particular thing is your specification, right? Which we learned previously. This is specification. This is specification. This is just a brief specification, brief description of work. And you have to mention the unit which it has to be measured in and the basic rate. Okay, basic rate. So this is for excavation. You can see they will give you all the things that are required. Okay, for all the type of construction work, they have mentioned this particular. You can see specification, brief specification, the measurement unit, and their rate. Okay, so this is regarding a brief discussion regarding a schedule of rates. So this is how your government of Karnataka has given you schedule of rates in your by your water resource department. Similarly, you will be having, as I've told you, for PWD works, you will be having a separate schedule of rate. So you can go through that. I will share this particular documents in your group. Okay, so is this clear? Is this document helpful? Have you gone through previously through this? This is very important document. So if you want to become a contractor, then regarding PWD or WRD, you need to be thorough with this particular document. Very important document. Okay, for tendering and all those purposes. Okay. So moving on to our coming to module 3, you can see the same thing have been mentioned over here. Same things have been mentioned over here. Material name, the measurement unit and their rates. Okay, so various materials and their rates are mentioned. You can see glass, paintings, steel, stones, tiles, all those materials are mentioned along with their rates. Okay, so the thing is you have to remember the unit and the rates for not all the items, but all very important items which you will be learning. So regarding your aggregates, cement, then ready mix concrete, steel, some are very important. No need to by heart all these things. By practice, you will learn what is the rate. Okay, if you practice more, these rates will be stored in your head. Then coming to labor charges. Okay, labor charges, we have seen the labor charges are also being provided in schedule of rates. Okay, schedule of rates, these labor charges are also provided, but for your reference, these you can refer. Okay, for easier reference you can refer to this. So mason is very important over here, mason, mazdoor, and then we will be dealing more with these two. Okay, mason and mazdoor. So you can remember 390 per day is the labor rate, and 290 labor rate per day is for mazdoor. Then we have various other like head mason, we have head masons, we have bishti, we have beldars. All those things we will be learning in detail as we move on into the chapter. Okay, so is this particular clear regarding rates of materials and rates of labors, how we adopt these particular rates? Is this part clear, guys, regarding material rates and labor rates? Yes. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Bahubali, Aziz,
Yes, sir.
Aziz, okay. Chetan, I hope it is clear. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So one more important thing. Okay, one more important thing is it is known as outturn work. Outturn work. Okay, outturn work is nothing but the capacity of doing work by a skilled labor in form of quantity per day. What is the quantity of work that a labor can do in per day? Okay, is known as outturn work of that particular labor. Okay, outturn work, whatever is the quantity of work that can be done. Okay, maximum quantity of work or meter cube or meter square or whatever he is doing, that particular quantity per day, how much he can do, that is our outturn work. Okay, so what can you name a few factors on which your outturn work depends? Outturn work or the capacity of a labor depends. Quantity that he can do per day, quantity of work that he can do per day. What are the various factors? Can you think of various factors that will affect his working quantity? Can you name a few factors which will affect the output capacity of this labor? Various factors. Try to name a few. It will depend on what? Quickly you have to reply. On what factors will the labor output vary or depend? Kaustubh Nayak. Kaustubh.
And type of work,
Type of work, correct? Type of
and
work,
how much work is there to be done.
correct. So depending upon the type of work, okay, nature of work. So he has covered this particular thing, nature of work. Whatever is the nature of work, whether you are dealing with excavation in loose soil or in hard strata, depending upon the nature of work, your outturn work of your labor will vary. Next, any other factor?
Material availability.
Material, right? Material, I think it will come under nature of work, material, type of material which you are dealing with. Material availability, right out. If material is available on site readily, then he can continue his work without any delay, right? So that is also one factor which you have told that will affect the outturn work of a labor. Next, any other thing?
Weather conditions.
Correct. Weather conditions, very important, right? So if the weather is very pleasant, he will work very nicely. He will work and his output will be more, right? And if it is raining, if it is very hot, if it is very summer, right, the temperature is very high or temperature is very low, right? The output of the labor will obviously decrease, right? Depending upon the weather conditions, very important. Very nice. Then any other thing that you can think of? ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯ ವೆದರ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯ ಏನು ವೆದರ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ will his output increase or decrease in the current weather?
So if it is external work, then it will reduce, and if it is only finishing work, internal work, then it will be more.
It will be more or it will be normal, the same that is his daily
More, sir, because they will not go out because it is raining.
Okay. So because if they are dealing with the internal works, as a friend says, they will not go out because of the rain, and his outturn work will increase. And if they are dealing with the external work like plastering or painting, that will be lesser because there is rain outside and cannot work. So his outturn work will be lesser. Okay, so very important thing your friend has covered. Very nice. Next, any other thing? The important things are missing out. Important things. Think quickly. You have to think.
Labor payments, sir.
Labor
Payments.
payment. How will your outturn work depend on payment? Can you elaborate, please? If you give him more
Per day wages, if it is
Haan.
per day wages, then it will reduce, and if it is contract based, means how much if they complete this much square feet of area, then we will pay this much, then it will increase.
increase. If they give you on a quantity basis, it will increase, and if they give you per day, it will reduce.
Yes, sir.
Because your laborers will become lazy, they will do less work, and they'll take the
ಪಗಾರ ಅಂತೆ.
pagar kodri anta, they'll take your pagar and they'll increase the number of days. So that is also an important factor in your outturn of your labor. Okay, very nicely you have told one factor. Next, any other factor? Many factors are there, right? Many factors, but important factor is his current situation. Maybe his physical situation, right? Very important, whether he is very fit to do the current work. He is very young, he will do more work. And if he is very strong, he will do more work. And if he is an old person, he will do less work, right? Based on his physical condition, also based on his mental condition, right? How can his outturn work vary on mental condition? Can you tell me mental condition of the labor? ಜಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಾರ ಬೇಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಸ್ ಔಟ್ಟರ್ನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್ ಆರ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಪಾ mental state chalo illa, he has 5:40 in his home, he has not given breakfast, he has not eaten breakfast, and he has come to work. So his outturn work will be more or less?
Less, sir.
Obviously it will be less, no, right? So depending upon his mental state also, the outturn work of a labor will vary. So you have to make sure that your laborers are happy and your laborers are strong, right? Healthy and happy. Because that will result in more outturn of your work. Okay, outturn of labor is also very important. So this is one factor which we have to consider, outturn. Okay. So height of work, meaning which particular height they are working at, whether they are working at ground level or whether they are working at a higher level, standing on a scaffolding. Right, so it is very risky for them. It is risk of life. It is risk of falling down and breaking limbs. Right, so depending upon that, right, your outturn will vary. If they are working at a very high level, right, they will work slowly, very carefully. So your outturn of your labor will be lesser, and on the ground it will be very fast. Okay, depending upon the situation, right, I've told you weather situation, depending upon his mental situation, on his physical situation, your outturn will vary. Okay, depending upon the location, depending upon the location. Suppose now you have observed that many laborers are coming from out of state, right? And you have also local laborers you have, and you have laborers which have come from outside. So whose outturn will be more, the local laborers or the laborers who have come from outside? Outturn work, whose will be more, which labor will give you more outturn?
Local, sir.
Local will give you more outturn work. Why, can you tell me? Can anyone justify your friend's statement? Can anyone justify? Try to think who will be giving more output, local laborer or a laborer who has come from outside.
So local laborers will have breakfast and come, And outside laborers will come on the site, then have breakfast, then start to work. And after 2-3 hours again, they will sit for lunch.
ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ Kaustubh has told very nicely. So your laborers who have come from outside, okay, they will have more outturn because they will be staying on site itself, right? They will be in situ laborers. And also in lockdown, you have heard that construction is allowed with in situ laborers, right? So your local laborers will not be allowed because the traveling will be not allowed in your lockdown. Hence your similarly what will happen, your local laborers will take more holidays, right? They'll take more holidays, but your laborers who have come from outside, they will hardly take any holidays. They will take once in a year, right? They go home for a month or two, and they will come back and they'll never go home back again, right, for a year. So your outturn work for your our laborers who have come from other states will be more compared to your local laborers. Okay, so that is one important factor, that is location. Okay, so wages depend also upon your laborers, whether they are from outside the state or whether they are local. Okay, labor, that is also mentioned in your SOR. You can go through, you can read. Then, okay. So labor output, okay, labor output and the labor working hours is usually 8 hours per day. Okay, 8 hours per day, which we consider. Okay, is it correct, guys? Is it correct? Is the laborer working for 8 hours per day? One shift is considered to be 8 hours, correct? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct, Allah. Correct, Allah. And if they work 1.5, how many hours? 1.5 day, 1.5 per day, which we call, right? If they come early at 8 o'clock and they work till 6, right? It is considered as 1.5 pay. Correct? 1.5, correct? Whatever I'm saying, correct? Can you verify?
ಸರ್ ನಮ್ ಕಡೆ 9:05 ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Correct. Okay. So 8 hours is what we consider usually is the working hours per day. Okay, per day. So this is a few basic things which are required. Then we will look into your what are the masons required. Okay, masons that are required, or sorry, your labors that are required in days. Okay, labors required in day. Okay, for your earthwork. Okay, earthwork. If you are doing it manually, if you are doing your earthwork manually, say you are doing a trench work. Okay, trench work or foundation not exceeding 1.5 meter in width. Okay, 1.5 meter in width, and you have to dig for about 1.5 meter depth. Okay, 1.5 meter width, 1.5 meter depth, meaning you have to lift your soil 1.5 meters, right? The lowest that you go is 1.5 meters. So this particular soil you have to lift for what height? You have to lift for 1.5 meter, and you have to lead, meaning you have to throw that particular soil, or you have to dump that particular soil at a lead of 30 meters. You cannot store or heap your soil just besides your trench. You have to give a lead, or you have to give some gap of 30 meters. So lift of 1.5 meter and lead of 30 meters. Okay, for this kind of trench work in ordinary soil. Okay, in ordinary soil you require 3/4 labor. Okay, 3/4 labor, that is mazdoor. Okay, what is mazdoor? Mazdoor is only dealing with earthwork. Okay, he is not skilled, he is unskilled labor, or he or she is unskilled labor. Mazdoor is usually a labor who does earthwork, who does the work of digging. Okay, digging and carrying various materials, just carrying and supplying. Okay, carrying and supplying, that is done by mazdoor. He is not very skilled, or he or she is not skilled. It is unskilled labor. Okay, mazdoor. So remember, whenever you are dealing with any work which requires digging or which requires supply of material or carrying of any material, you have to use mazdoors. Correct? So unit which will be using is 10 cubic meters. Okay, we assume initially 10 cubic meters, and then we arrive at per unit per cubic meter. Okay, first initially we assume 10 cubic meter, and then we arrive at our per cubic meter rate. Okay, 3/4, meaning it is not 3/4 person, it is in days. Okay, it is in days. So mazdoor is required for 3/4 day, three days plus 1/4 of a day is required. Okay, one mazdoor can do this particular work. Okay, 10 cubic meter work in these many days. Okay, so labor in days, meaning these many days are required for one mazdoor to complete 10 meter cube of work. Clear? Is it clear? Is this clear? 10 1/4, 3 1/4, is it clear? This is very basic. You have to understand this. So 3 days plus 1/4 day. Okay, so I have got here. So this is particularly given in days. So you require one Mazdoor to complete 10 meter cube of 10 meter cube of work. How many days you require? 3 plus 1/4 day. 3 1/4 day. So can you tell me the answer in hours? Can you tell me the answer in hours now? So this is given in days, right? Consider 8 working hours per day. 8 working hours per day, and tell me the answer in hours. Can you tell me the answer in hours?
26 hours, sir.
Correct, 26 hours. So what have you done? You have taken 8 hours, right? 8 hours. So 3 into 8, 3 into 8, and this also into 8. So you have to add, you will get 26 hours. So 26 hours is required, okay, for 10 meter cube of work in ordinary soil. Similarly, in dense or hard soil, you will be requiring more Mazdoors. Okay, more Mazdoor you will be requiring. So you can see how much Mazdoors they have taken. How much Mazdoors? Can you read on your screen? Can you read on your screen? How many Mazdoors are required? 7 plus 3/4, meaning this is in days. Okay, these are not number of Mazdoors, these are days. 7 plus 3/4. Next. So similarly, if you want to excavate earth in trench, okay, sides not exceeding 20 centimeter in depth, then you will be requiring less Mazdoor. Okay, less Mazdoor. You will be requiring labors for only 2 plus 1/3 of days. Okay, so this is very important. This convention you have to understand clearly. Okay. Coming to lime concrete, you can see for 10 meter cube, you require one head mason. Okay, head mason is a supervisor. Head mason is nothing but a supervisor. He is above your mason. Okay, he checks and he supervises. He also works. Okay, he also works and he also supervises. So because lime concrete is there, one has to supervise that particular work. No, so supervision is required. Hence, you require half day of head mason. Half day of a head mason is required, plus one mason is required for properly laying, right? You're laying your lime concrete. Because Mazdoor, I have told you, Mazdoor is unskilled. He can only lift, he can carry, he can supply. Okay, but mason is one who can construct, who can properly lay your bricks or properly lay your concrete, right? So you need a mason who is skilled. Okay, Mazdoor 18 are required, mason only 1 is required. And what is a Bisti? Do you know who is a Bisti? What particular work is done by Bisti? Do you know what particular work is done by Bisti?
Giving water.
Correct. Very good. So you know the things, right? So Bisti is one who supplies you water, right? He does the work of supplying or curing work, right? Curing work or supplying of water. So this was usually done, Bisti work was usually required in the olden days of construction, wherein you did not have water pumps, right? Pipes and water pumps. So there your manual labor was required to supply you with water, right? In buckets or in sacks. And then cure it using a bucket, right? He has to carry a bucket from the tank in water, and then he used to splash water and cure. So Bisti were required because we are dealing with concrete, right? We require water for mixing. We need water for curing. Hence, we need Bistis. Okay, so this is how you can decide on the type of labor and the number of laborers that are required. Okay, so is this a particular earthwork clear? Earthwork, is it clear, guys? Earthwork? Yes or no? Is earthwork clear? Have you
Yes, sir.
No problem. Can we move on to the next one? Okay, coming to cement concrete. Let us just briefly look into this, okay? Because we have a lot of things to cover. We cannot in detail go through all of this. I will give you an overview. You can read later on in detail. Okay, when you are dealing with concrete work, okay, concrete work, as we know, concrete we deal in cubic meters. Hence, we have to assume 10 cubic meters initially. You can see all we have assumed in 10 cubic meters. Then, so for concrete work, as I've told you, we need supervision. So we require head mason. We need masons because we need skilled labor for laying your concrete, and we require Mazdoors and Bistis. Okay, so depending upon the size of your work magnitude, you can decide the number of Mazdoors and number of Bistis required. Okay, for usually for 10 cubic meters, these are the number of laborers that are required. Okay, so you have to remember all this number, who type of laborers and the number of laborers required. Okay, so it may vary, it is not a standard, but your final answer in your exam should be nearby whatever they expect. Okay, nearby some final value you have to arrive. Okay, so centering and saturation, centering and shuttering. So shuttering is nothing but formwork, and the support that you provide for a formwork is called as centering, correct? So for 10 square meters of centering and shuttering, right? Before you lay your concrete, you prepare your formwork, right? You prepare your formwork like this. For beam, I'm showing an example. This is a formwork of a beam, right? So you prepare a formwork and then you lay your concrete inside it, right? And a beam, and your beam, this formwork is usually supported on props. On centering, it is supported, right? So we require this centering and shuttering work. So we require laborers for this particular work. So we require which kind of laborers? You can see we require carpenters, 3 carpenters and 4 Mazdoors, right? 4 Mazdoors to carry that particular panels and formwork, all those things to carry and to help the carpenter in preparing the formwork. Okay, reinforcement work, you can see reinforcement work that is requiring for steel we are talking about. Okay, we are talking about steel reinforcement, talking about steel. So steel is usually calculated in quintals. Okay, quintals per quintal we will calculate in terms of, and then one blacksmith. Okay, blacksmith is one who works with steel. Okay, he works with iron or steel. One blacksmith and one Mazdoor. Okay, so then coming to DPC work, we have various kind of masons that are required, right? 0.8, you can see 0.8, right? Less amount of masons are required. Then coming to brickwork. Into brickwork, you can see for brickwork we need masons. More masons we required because brickwork requires skilled laborers we require for laying our bricks. And half of your head mason is required because the supervision is required for brickwork. Similarly, depending upon the type of brickwork, right? For brickwork in foundation, brickwork in first class brickwork in superstructure, then we have first class brickwork in floor, right? For first floor, for ground floor, then first floor. And as the height increases, your output also decreases. Output or your outturn work decreases. We have studied that factor. Then coming to various other things, right? We have a flooring, right? For flooring, we require head masons, we require mason, we require Mazdoors, and we require Bisti. Okay, wherever you require water, right? Wherever you require water, wherever you require curing, remember to include Bisti. Okay, include Bisti. Then plastering and pointing, finishing. Okay, you need to remember what are the types of laborers that are required, types and their quantity, number of laborers and their type of laborers. You have to remember. Okay, you can read through and you can have an idea. I have explained to you wherever Mazdoors where they are required, where Bistis are required, and where head masons are required. Okay, so your answer, you have to make sure that our answer is nearby whatever the answer that they are expecting. Okay, it will not always be exactly whatever they are expecting, right? Some evaluation scheme they will be having, and some particular answer of rate per cubic meter they will be having in hand. Okay, but your answer will vary. It will not be the same. Okay, for example, the answer here is 105. Okay, per cubic meter rate is 105. Your answer may be 120 or it may be 100, right? It will be not exactly 105 because your rate which you have considered, right? It may vary, and your quantity of labors which you have taken, right? It may vary. Right, it is not standard everywhere. We know that various factors decide the rate of your material, right? Rate of your laborer. The rate of your laborer per day rate, right? Depends upon the location, depends upon what is their skill set, right? And where they are working, what is the situation which they are working, right? Your rate varies from place to place and time to time, right? So this particular 290 will not be taken by everyone, right? They may take 300, they may take 310, or they may take 270, right? Depending upon the rate, your answer will vary. So there is no standard answer. Your answer has to be nearby to this value. Okay, so remember this. Okay, So I hope the laborers part is clear. I hope this part is clear. Is this clear? The type and labor output constant that we have to consider, labor output and the type of labor that we have to consider. Is it clear, guys, for different kind of works? You can read through in detail later on. Okay, I have just explained in brief. Okay, shall we move on to the next thing? Yes, those who have understood can raise your hand, please. There is an option to raise your hand. Let me just check who are active, who are there and listening. Let me check. So if you are listening to me, if you are understanding, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand, those who are listening and those who are active in the class. Very good, very good, very good. Mayur, Mallikarjun, Chetan, very good. Please raise your hand, those who have understood. Aishwarya is not active. Akshachari is not active. Arihant,
Yes, sir.
are you there following?
Yes, sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mayur, Pradeep,
Yes, sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ?
Sir.
Okay, very good. Can you continue with the next thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so moving on to next thing. After we know how to determine the type and the number of laborers required, we have now learned how to determine the type of labor and the number of laborers that are required for each work. Then moving on to labor cost, right? We have learned regarding this labor cost, right? What are the various factors we have learned? Next, moving on, cost of equipment. So what is the percentage of cost that you have to keep aside for this equipment? Okay, so usually 2 to 3% of estimated cost is provided, that is provided in the estimate regarding this cost of equipment. Okay, so you keep 2 to 3% of your estimated cost as equipment cost. Okay, so this is regarding cost of equipment. Now, water charges, as we know, water is also required for various kind of work, right? For curing, for mixing with cement, where water is required. So generally, we keep 1% of the estimated cost as water charges. Okay, 1%. Then sundries is what? A lump sum amount is generally provided for analysis of rates towards purchase of certain tools and petty items which cannot be accounted in detail. Right, various miscellaneous items. Okay, miscellaneous items usually very small for work which are not standard. Okay, they are not standard, which cannot be accounted in your particular rate analysis. What we do, we include those particular miscellaneous items, like we need to purchase some small tools, right? Some small tools and all those things. So these lump sum we consider as sundries. We put into one particular term called as sundries, and all those particular rate are we take as lump sum amount. Okay, we will consider that as lump sum amount, and they are taken to be 2.5 to 3% of labor cost. Okay, 2.5 to 3% of the labor cost is considered as sundries. Next, overhead charges. I have told you what we include in overhead charges, like we include the salaries of the supervisors, right? Traveling allowances, telephone bills, right? Paper, right? We require stationery, we require furniture, all those things. All those things are required, and those are taken as overhead charges. Okay, so how much do we keep? We keep 5% of the estimated cost towards overhead charges. Okay, 5%. Okay, 5%. And coming to profit, we know we keep profit of 10%. 10% of profit is kept as a contractor's profit. Okay, for small jobs, your profit may increase. Small job, it is going to 15%, and for large works, it may be coming down to as much as 8%, depending upon your interest. Okay, it is on your decision to keep this particular percentage. Whatever you want to keep, you can keep. If it is a small job, usually the percentage will increase, and if you are dealing with a very large work, your percentage profit you keep lesser. Okay, so this is just a standard thing, 10%. It can vary. It is not a standard thing. Sorry, it can vary depending upon your type of work and the situation. Okay, so this is very important. Percentages you have to remember. Okay, cost of percentage 2 to 3%. Cost of equipment 2 to 3%. Water charge percentage is 1. Sundries is kept as 2.5 to 3. Overhead charges are considered as 5%, and profit is generally 10%. Okay, so remember these particular percentages, these are very important. Next, analysis of different items of works and rate analysis. Now we are starting with rate analysis of different kinds of works. Okay, now we will start with rate analysis. So rate analysis includes what? Can you tell me rate analysis? The main things that are included in rate analysis. Let me tell you, main things that are included are material cost, right? And then labor cost. And then some percentages we will add. Okay, some percentages, that is some percentage of profit we will add. Some overhead charges we will add. And all these things, percentages we have to add. Okay, remember. So material, labor, and some percentage we have to add. So these three, if you do, your rate analysis will be over. Okay. So material, labor, and percentage you add, you get the total cost. You get the total cost. Divide this total cost by the total quantity of work. Okay. Total quantity of work. What you will get? You will get the rate per unit item of work. Rate you will get per unit item of work. Okay. So we need to prepare a table regarding this. Okay, first thing you have to prepare a table. You have to take out the total cost divided by the total quantity of work. You will arrive at the rate. You will arrive at the rate. Okay, so rate analysis has to be done for separately for every item. Okay, it has to be done separately for every item, not like how we have done in the first module. It has to be done separately for every item of work. So the first item that usually we do is which? Earthwork, correct? Earthwork. So earthwork in excavation we are dealing with. After excavation, we have to what? We have to do backfilling. So we'll look into backfilling later. First, we'll learn the rate analysis for excavation. So the first thing is the specification that will be provided. Okay, so not exceeding 1.5 meter in width. Okay, and lift is 1.5 meter and lead is 30 meter. Okay, lift and lead I've explained to you. Lifting is the material that has to be lifted in height, and lead is the traveling that has to be done to store or to heap the material, to dump the material from the trench. Okay, so this is lift and this is lead. Then this is the specification that they have given. Okay, so the quantity will not be given to you. Quantity of earthwork in meter cube, right? Quantity will be given, or will be measuring in meter cube. This will not be given to us. Meter cube, this particular quantity will not be given to us. So what we will do, we will assume certain value. Okay, we will not assume 1 meter cube. 1 meter cube is very small quantity. Okay, instead of 1, what we will assume? We will assume 10 meter cube. Okay, as I've told you, whatever we are dealing with cubic meters, right? Whatever quantity we calculate in cubic meters, we have to assume as 10. Okay, assume as 10 meter cube and then calculate for the item of works and then divide later by 10. Okay, you can observe here we have divided it by 10. So what happens? 10 meter cube, you divide by 10. So you arrive at what? Per cubic meter in the end, right? Per cubic meter you will arrive. So that is what is rate analysis. Okay, so we have assumed 10 cubic meter. Okay, no problem. Quantity we have assumed. Now there is no material cost over here. Why there is no material cost in earthwork? Why is there no material cost in earthwork? Can you justify this particular statement? Why is there no material cost to be included in earthwork? You can also see in the table we have directly included labor cost. We have not calculated any material cost. Why is that particular thing? Why is this particular? What is the logic behind this? Why do not consider material cost? In every other thing you will see that first we calculate material and then we go for labor in every other rate analysis as we move forward. But in earthwork, why do we not consider material cost? Common sense, try to answer.
So we have to do excavation, no materials required.
Yes, correct. Very good. So we are dealing with earthwork, right? Earth is already present. We do not require any earth, right? We are not backfilling. We are just excavating the material which is already present, right? The material is already present. We are not backfilling. So material is not required. In the contrary, what we are doing, we are excavating the material which is already there, and we are dumping it at some other site, right? So there is no material requirement, hence the material cost is not coming in this particular item of work, right? Earthwork, we do not deal with materials. Okay, so remember this point, do not write any materials in the tabular column. Okay, coming to Mazdoor, right? Coming to labors, we know we require Mazdoor. We require Mazdoor. So in the previous table, I have shown you for 10 cubic meter of earthwork, we require 3/1/4 number of days, 3 and 1/4 days, right? Days we require for 10 cubic meter of work, right? It was coming up to 26 hours, I think 26 hours, right? 26 hours. Or in days, if you tell, it will be 3 and 1/4 number of days. Okay, so quantity, in quantity, you will mention in days, that is 3/1/4. And the rate, right? They are wages which are paying daily wages, 290 rupees per day, 290 rupees per day. So he is working for 3 and 1/4 day, multiply that by per day rate, right? Per day wage, you will get the total wages, the total cost of that labor, or the total amount that you have to pay to him. That is coming how much? 942, right? 942. So that is done. Then no other labor is required, right? Only Mazdoor is required. No head mason, no bisti, nothing. No one is required, right? Hence only one we have calculated. Water charge, we add 1%. Water charges, we add 1%, because you see we require ramming. We require ramming of bottoms, and before ramming, what you do, you sprinkle some amount of water, right? Some amount of water you sprinkle. So we need some water. So water charges we add as 1%. Then total, it will be this plus this, total you have to calculate. And then what you do, you add your profit. Okay, 10% of profit and overhead. Okay, profit and overhead we are adding both as 10% included. Okay, both profit and overhead are included in this 10%. So 10% of this particular item, that is 95. Then the total, grand total will be 1047. Okay, grand total is 1047. Now this grand total is for 10 cubic meter of work, right? We have calculated for 10 cubic meter of work, 10 cubic meter. So what will be for per cubic meter? You have to divide by 10, right? Divide by 10. So you will arrive at what? Per cubic meter rate. Per cubic meter rate is 104. So assume it as 105. 105 rupees is per cubic meter of rate for trench or for earthwork in excavation. Okay. So when they ask you what is the rate for excavation in this particular type of soil, earthwork in excavation, okay, you have to tell 105 rupees per cubic meter. Okay, so this is how you have to do your rate analysis. Okay, rate per cubic meter. So is this clear? Is this clear? Right, in the site you might have heard this particular terms. What is the rate for excavation? Tell me. Then you have to tell them. You have to tell them it is around 100 rupees per cubic meter. Okay, per cubic meter. But what happens, as your friend have told me, in your field you usually deal with feet. Okay, not in terms of meter cube. You deal with feet, right? So they will ask you what is the rate for excavation. Then you have to convert this particular cubic meter to feet, and then tell them rupees per cubic feet. Per cubic feet, what is the rate that you are charging? Okay, so this is how you have to calculate, or you have to do the rate analysis. So this is very easy. This is for earthwork, okay, wherein we do not have any materials and there is only one mason. Okay, so is this clear? If you have understood this, you will understand all the other things if this is clear. So tell me whether you have understood this particular analysis of rate for first one, earthwork in excavation. Yes? Arthaitri, have understood? Samajh mein aa gaya? Aziz has raised his hand. Yes, Aziz. Kaustubh.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
No? Very easy, right? Very easy. Compared to first and second module, very easy, no? Just multiplication.
Yes, sir.
Just multiplication. The main thing is you have to remember the number of labors required and their rate. Okay, what are the type of labor required? What is the quantity of labors required and their rate? Okay, their daily wages. You have to remember. That is only the main thing.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir. You have to remember only type, quantity, rate.
Yes, you have to type, quantity, and rate. You have to remember. So it is very difficult. No, it is very difficult to remember all these things. You have to remember for each item of work. You have to remember what is the type of labor, quantity of labor, then rate of each labor. So what we can do is we can remember this particular rate. Okay, per cubic meter rate you can remember 105, and depending upon this you can reverse engineer and you can set all these values and make sure that your final answer is in terms of 105. Okay, it may be 100, it may be more than 100, 110, 120, 115, doesn't matter, because I've told you your rate varies on time to time, place to place. So then they cannot tell you that the rate that you have taken is wrong. But make sure that you take some reasonable rate. Okay, don't take 500 rupees per day, don't take 100 rupees per day. Okay, so you have to take in some reasonable range. Okay, and arrive at this particular answer. Okay, so this is also one trick that you can do to remember your or to perform your analysis of rates. So moving on to next quantity. Okay, so you can see this is also same, but here only the changes, we are doing excavation using mechanical means. Okay, we are excavating using mechanical means. So the other things are same, like you have to take 100 cubic meters. Okay, 100 meter cube of earthwork soil you have to assume, and then you have to go forward with your calculation. Okay, so we are not using manual labor. What we are using machinery. So machinery, you have to know what is the quantity, that what is the amount of time that you require. So require your hydraulic excavator for 0.0625 days. Okay, so 0.0625 days you require to excavate 10 cubic meters of quantity of earthwork. Okay, so for 10 cubic meters you require hydraulic excavator for this amount of days. Okay, for this amount of days. So for per day, they will charge you 8,000. Okay, per day they will charge you 8,000. Hence, your amount for your excavator is 500. Okay, so similarly, you will require hire and running charges of tipper, right? When you excavate, you have to put it into a tipper, right? You have to hire a tipper and you have to give them running charges. So they will charge you around 1,700 per day, and that cost will be 106. Okay. So you require labor also, you require 5 number of labors, that is mazdoor you require, right, to handle this excavator, to handle this rock excavator, breaker, then coolie, all these mazdoors are required, right, for these various works. So you require 5 number of labors or mazdoors, and their rate, as we know, it is 290 per day, right, and you can use prevailing rates. Okay, there is no standard that you have to use this particular rate. You can use whatever rate that is prevailing in your area, and you can write this particular rate. Then multiply 5 into 290, you will arrive at this value. Add all this, you will arrive at total. Make sure you add water charges 1%, and then to this total, make sure you add profit and overhead charges of 10%. Okay, so this percentage can also vary. Okay, there is no standard that it has to be 10, but keep it in terms of this, keep it in the range of 10%. Okay, 10, say 8%, 12%, keep it in nearby to this 10%. Then grand total you can arrive, and then divide this grand total by the assumed cubic meter. Okay, assumed, what we have assumed, 10. So you will arrive that it is around 230 rupees per cubic meter. Okay, 230 rupees per cubic meter you require for 10 cubic meter of excavation. Okay, 10 cubic meter of excavation for by using mechanical hydraulic excavator. Okay, for mechanical hydraulic excavator it is 230. And if you do it by manual labor, what was the rate? Can you recall for manual labor for the same quantity of work? How much was it? How much was it?
390.
105, 105, you see, correct? So you can see which will cost you more. Your hydraulic excavator will cost you more, no? And this manual labor will cost you less, correct? Correct or no? Hydraulic excavator, you can see it is rupees 230
Yes,
per
sir.
cubic meter, and this is costing you much, rupees 105 per cubic meter. So why is this particular difference, and what will affect, and how, why is this beneficiary? What is the difference between 230?
Time, sir.
Time, correct, very important. So the time required by this hydraulic excavator is how much? 0.0625 days. And what is the time required here? 3 and 3 plus 1/4. So multiply this by 8, right? 1 day is 8 equal to 8 working hours, no? So multiply this by 8. What is the answer that you will get in hours? ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ in hours?
$48 minutes.
How much minutes?
48.
48. 0.0625 into 8.
Yes, sir.
I think you will get 0.5 hours. Correct. So it will be around half an hour or 45 minutes. Correct. Half an hour or 45 minutes. So we have calculated. So machine requires how much? Say 40 minutes. And the same quantity of work, how much your labor will require? We have calculated, no, 26 hours. So you can see the time difference. 40 minutes and 26 hours. So large time difference is there. Hence, this will cost you more amount, but that work will be done in less time, very less time. It can be completed. But this will cost you very less. It will cost you, right? It will cost you half, but it will require very large time. Right? So that is the difference between using a machine and using labor, using manual labor for the same work. Okay, so is this clear why there is more rate? Why is the rate more for machine work and why it is less for the manual labor? Okay, so various types of earthwork we have, right? We have earthwork in hard rock, right, which requires blasting. Hard rock which requires blasting. So let us look what is the difference in blasting, right? So these particular things are same.
Balu. Hello. ಹುಲಿ.
ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ ಕಿರಣ್ ಬರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ.
ಕಿರಣ್ ಬರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ.
ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ತ್ಡೇ
ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ
ಕಿರಣ್.
ಬರ್ಡೇ. ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ
ಬರ್ತ್ಡೇ.
चेतन खोट. हेलो भाई.
Hello. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Let me know if I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was some network issue. I think the screen sharing is off, right? I think you are not able to see the screen. Let me just.
Yes, sir.
ಸರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಐತಿ ಸರ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡನ್ರಿ.
Hey, yakri, you have to finish 10 item of work. You are still in 4th.
ಸರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅದು ಇದನ್ನ ಐತೆ ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು
We'll try to
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್.
finish. I will finish at least 2 more. 2 more we'll finish and we can wind up. We'll finish 2 more, right? We'll finish earthwork in film. Okay. We'll finish quickly. Don't worry. Once you have understood, the remaining things are same. You can see that we are taking 10 meter cube in filling, right? And in filling also, we do not require any material. So do not consider any material cost. Only labor is required, mazdoor, right? So in mazdoor, previously, how many mazdoor we had assumed? 3 and 1/4, right? 3 and 1/4 mazdoor we had assumed, we had taken for 10 meter cube of excavation, 10 meter cube. But for the same 10 meter cube of backfilling, we have taken only 2.5 labors. Why have we taken less quantity of labors over here? Can you tell me? Can you justify? Can you give me the reason behind this? Why have we taken less amount of quantity of laborers here? Common sense. Why? Excavation requires more effort or backfilling requires more effort? Backfilling requires less effort, right? It is just pouring back or filling back your material. There is no excavation required. Hence, there will be lesser number of mazdoors that are required for us. Okay. So hence, take lesser quantity of mazdoors, and then you can take out the amount, right? Water charges, and then profit. So divide by 10. Do not forget to do this last step. Okay. Do divide by 10 and then take out the cost. Okay. Rate per cubic meter. So you can see for excavation it was 105, and for backfilling it is 81 rupees. Okay, 81 rupees. So you can have a comparison. Next. Okay. Where were we? Over here. Okay. Okay, filling in plinth. Okay, now we are dealing with backfilling in plinth. Okay, so they have told us to backfill with local sand. Okay, we have been told to use local sand. Okay, and we have to do ramming, consolidating, and dressing. Okay, all these things have to be done. Okay, so now we have to include materials, because we have to include this local sand which we are using for backfilling. Okay, fine local sand we are using. And how many quantity? We have assumed that we will be using 10 meter cube of quantity, right? So assume 10 meter cube of quantity over here, cubic meter of quantity. And then the rate of local fine sand is 1300 per cubic meter. Okay, 1300 per cubic meter. So the amount that will be coming is as 13,000 amount. Okay, 13,000 rupees is the amount for 10 cubic meter of sand. Then for this particular work, you require labors, right? You require one mazdoors for backfilling, 2 number of mazdoors for backfilling, and to supervise them, right? To supervise them, you require a head mason. How many? Only 1 by 12 number. Very less number of mason is required. Only 1 by 12. Only 1 by 12th day you require a mason for. Okay, head mason for. Then you can see you have to multiply that by their daily wages, multiply, get the total, and then arrive at the rate. You can see it is 1513 rupees per meter cube for plinth filling. Okay, for plinth filling using local sand. Filling using local sand is this particular. This is the particular rate. Now, if you want to fill a plinth of say 100 cubic meter, 100 meter cube, what will be the cost now? What will be the cost for 100 cubic meter? So this is the rate for 1 cubic meter. For 100 cubic meter, it will be what? Into 100, correct? Into 100. Or if you want to find for 50 cubic meters, you have to multiply this rate by 50, correct? So this rate per cubic meter is very important. Because of that, this rate per cubic meter is very important. Next. Shall we start with the cement concrete?
No, sir. Stop, sir.
क्या करिए? बस हो गया?
Yes, sir. बस हो गया, sir. अभी हो गया ना, sir.
इजी है रे, फिर भी बस हो गया. इजी है.
Easy है, लेकिन sir बहुत time हो गया ना, sir.
ठीक है. तो any doubt, if you have any doubt, you can let me know. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the prevailing rate of sand, M sand or local sand that is in our city per cubic meter, or whatever unit which are like one truck rate or in tons or quintals? What is the prevailing rate of sand? Prevailing rate of sand?
22,000, sir.
20?
22, sir.
22. Okay. 22,000 for how much?
3 brass.
For 3.
8,000
This is-
per brass, sir.
How much per brass?
8,000, sir.
8,000.
Sir,
Okay.
sir,
That
some
is for-
area is Sir, some area is having 7,000, 8,000, or 6,500. It differ from the area, sir.
It differs on area or material.
Material, sir.
Both, sir. Area and material, sir, both.
Okay. So can you please convert this into per cubic meter? It is difficult, I know. Can you try to convert it to this particular? Let us check whether it is in this particular range or the rates have increased. Rate per cubic meter. Can you please convert this particular 22,000 which you are telling me, or 8,000 per brass you are telling me, 8,000 per brass. Try to convert and tell us so that we can have an idea what is the prevailing rates in our city. And meanwhile, can you tell me what is the labor daily wage labor for head mason, mazdoor and mason, right? Can anyone tell me what is the prevailing rates for these kind of labors? Head mason, mazdoor and a normal mason. Their daily wages.
Sir, head mason is 650, mason 500, mazdoor 350 or 300.
Okay. So these are the prevailing rates which are there currently in our city for these kind
Yes,
for
sir.
these labors. Okay. So
Yes,
Bisti,
sir.
I think there Bisti are not being used in construction works, I think. Then can you tell me what is the daily wage for a bar bender? Bar bender
500, sir.
500 per day. And what is their time?
10 to 6.
10 to 6. Okay. So we have got a few idea regarding what is the prevailing rates. Okay, you can use this also. These rates also you can use. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule that we have to use whatever is in the textbook. So if you know the rates, you can easily use. So those who have worked in the field in your internship, or those who are currently doing some field work, they will easily write this rate analysis, right? They will be knowing all the rates. They will be knowing what are the masons used, which type of mason is used in what kind of work. Okay, and number of masons also you will be knowing. So they can easily write this particular rate analysis. So make sure you practice and you know all these rates that are prevailing in your city. Okay, have you calculated rate per cubic meter for sand? Are you trying? You can let me know in the next class also, no problem. Okay, let me know the rate per cubic meter for sand, then for aggregate also, coarse aggregate, any coarse aggregate, and then for cement. Okay, rate for cement bag, any other material which we use usually. Cement, sand, aggregate, then I don't think for water, then any other material. You can make a list and you can share in the group. Okay, the prevailing rates. Okay, also the labor's rates which have told me currently for head mason, mazdoor, and bisti, all those things whichever you are dealing with in site, you can make a list and share. We will make use of those rates. Okay, if you want, we will make use of those rates for your calculation. Okay, so is this clear? Is this clear, guys? I hope it was very interesting. Have you learned a few new things today? Yes, can you reply? Can anyone reply?
Yes, sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ರೀ ಏನಾರ ಹೊಸ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಉತ್ತಮ್ ಬಿಸಾಜಿ has raised his hand again, lowered. Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Have you understood today's session? No problem.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Okay, thank you. So you can give your attendance now. Please give your attendance quickly. You have to type. Everyone has to type in their attendance. Do not leave without typing in your attendance. Later on you will say that I have attended and I have not given attendance. Give your attendance and only then your attendance will be considered. Make sure you give your attendance and then go. It is enough if you type your USN itself only. If you type, it is enough. No need of typing your name. Okay, so this is very important. You can see that we are using various terms which are related to site, right? So it is very important for boys, especially who are planning to work into site, right? Who are into tendering and who are going to work in site, this particular chapter is very important. You should know the rate, how to do rate analysis, what are the labors required, what are the types, okay, and what are the prevailing cost of various materials. So make sure you do not miss this. Make sure you, if you have any doubt, you clear your doubts, right? Many of our friends are there who are working in field, in site. They can also help us in various things. Okay. So I hope everyone has typed in their attendance, and if you have typed in your attendance, you are free to exit the session.